Fabric Vintage Synths.
Okay, and we're back on the MPC show. Today, we're checking out the brand new Synthesizer suite by Akai Professional. That's right. What do we have? Instrument plugins, not just any instrument plugins, but classic synthesizers. Let's do that. 1, 2, uh-oh. Vintage Jup, not to be confused with the Jupiter keyboard, and also the Vintage Memorymoog, not to be confused with the Moog, and the Vintage Pro, not to be confused with a Pro from the past, not to be confused. But what are we running on today? Today we got the Yamaha MX61. We're gonna turn her on. And these are my first impressions of the Vintage Jup, the Vintage Memorymoog, and the Vintage Pro on the Akai Professional MPC X SE. No sample today, folks. That's right, no sample today. Just composing, just synthesis. Shall we have a look? Now we're on the Vintage Jupiter, and if we hit this GUI here, oh, look at this, will you look at that?
Vintage Jup.
Yeah, but what does it sound like? Off top, we have the glory pad. Synthesizer. This is a beautiful pad. That's beautiful. I actually love those textures. I love those sounds. This is the Glory Pad preset. Streets of Los Angeles. I kind of have this fascination of doing this this video montage of LA, but I think this is so LA. This is so like LA in the morning. We need another chord. let's get straight to it, shall we? We're probably at a nice 85 BPM. I'm good at that. Let's just say on Jupiter, let's give ourselves another lead instrument here. So Vintage Jupiter. Let's open up these presets. Let's have a look at these leads here. How many leads do we got? Let's go with this ambient sync. Let's mess with this. So off top on the Fabric Air Vintage Jupe, we have several parameters here available for our picking. So release, attack, is this RESO? Is that resolve? Resolution? Resolve? I think it's resolve. I get confused. Cut off. That's like a filter. Of course, you got your balance between your different isolators here, oscillators. It's a little fine tuning there in case you want to get some detuning there. Oscillator 1 fine tuning there. Delay. Reverb. That's fire. Let's play that. That wasn't it. That's it. Vintage Jupiter. Pretty dope. Now if I were to continue on this, what would I do? So 80s, ain't it? Let's take another look at the Vintage synthesizer. In terms of the GUI, the graphics interface here, let's have a look. Underneath the main screen of the Jupiter, we have several options. We got settings. Of course, you could transpose, fine tune, pitch bend, up and down. Looks like there's already a 2 on there. There's glide time, glide mode, legato, or off or all. Polyphony, of course. Polyphony is legato. Oh, you can also re-trigger your polyphony or limit yourself to 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes, 6 notes. Very helpful in the synthesizer world because things can get crowded very quickly. So definitely pay attention to that screen there if you're curious about it. There's some MPE technology here, and I believe this would be used for the MPC E pads, I believe that's what this is for. We're going to turn that off. So if you turn that off, clearly that's going off here. MIDI control, more options for technical parameters being switched around. Okay, you got your isolator here, isolator 1 and 2. So we got 2 isolators for Air Jupiter. Right now we have a Uni Sync Sweep Noisy and a PWM Thin Narrow. Looking at the LFO here, you got isolator 1 LFO, isolator 2 LFO. You got your different rates, of course. We're going to leave that alone. Furthermore, there's another screen here that is a sub LFO or a noise LFO, which of course we do not have enabled right now. We have our filters, low pass, envelopes, global LFO. We of course more of a filter GUI right here, amp envelope right there. We got pitch envelope right here. That could be interesting. What does that sound like? So, wait a second, did I change sequences? Oh, it's soloed out, that's why. All right, so this is gonna come in a second. Now let's have a look at this pitch envelope. I really flipped that. I can't say I've ever seen a pitch envelope before. Really flip that. You can only imagine why you would want to do that. I believe when you want to twist things up and really warp it, that would be a great screen to use for experimental type of stuff. Moving on. This is the Vintage Jupiter effects. We have distortion, we got a mod here, mod 1, mod 2, we got delay, we got reverb, we got mod and mix, and then we have an EQ out under our FX. So just having a look at the reverb here, knowing what this sound is. Different rooms here. We'll put it in a large chamber. You could adjust your time, your pre-delay, your damp, your volume right here. Let's see here. Take a little bit of that out. Add this air lo-fi on top of it. We're going to do a LP filter on top of that too. Jupiter. Let's move on. Okay, so we are on to the next sequence now. Sequence 2. And today, we're going to focus on right now, this second, we're focused on the Vintage Memorymoog. It starts off with a woolly mammoth. Before we were in the F sharp.
Vintage Memorymoog.
Let's try G minor. the initial. What kind of presets do we have with the Memorymoog? So presets wise, we got the Woolly Mammoth, which is the very first sound. Pretty fire. But let's not. Let's try another pad. Goosebumps. Goosebumps. Ooh. That could be a John right there. So we're gonna go right into that. We're gonna take our BPM, maybe a little up tempo, 102. Why am I so good at that?
Vintage Memorymoog.
This is a John right here. This one could be crazy. Minor is always better, ain't it, for hip hop? Of course, the last one we did was major. If you're interested in learning more about music theory and the difference of chords and keys and scales, make sure you drop a subscribe, because we're gonna be getting into music theory. Oof. Let's go ahead and do another one on top of that, because that's pretty fire. So we're gonna go right back into the Vintage Memorymoog. We haven't done any key parts yet, but let's do bass. Get out of here. So we got a lot of bass parts. For me, Memorymoog, or just the idea of the Moog, is always about low end for me. I don't know about you, but when I think about the Moog, I'm thinking about the low end. All that being said, let's get to it. Sub horn. Ooh. Ooh. Let's do that. 1, 2, uh-oh. Slightly messy there at the end. I'll take it though. This is a jump. Let's do one more. One more. Vintage Moog. I'm surprised I'm not capped out on my RAM yet. So if we got a pad, we got a bass, a lead. Right? Which lead did I? Oh yeah, this is a different lead. How about slapstick wah? Let's try another one. Detroit Minimal. This is almost like a, ooh. No. What is this? Gary's Dream? These are intense. have a look at the Memorymoog GUI. So you got your basic screen right here. This is the default preset Fabric Air Memorymoog synthesizer. Of course, you have your isolators, you got your reverb, you got your attack, you got your resonance. Did I say resolution before? You got your resonance. Furthermore, you got settings. You got MPE technology enabled or disabled. You got your OSC. Okay, these are your different isolators here. There's isolator sub available as well if you're in the subs. Of course, LFOs, very similar to the previous screens. Pretty much, it looks like outside of the main GUI here, this main image here, is pretty much the same on the other side. Now there's an ARP in here. I don't recall there being an ARP previously on the last instrument. Arpeggiator. And you can change the rate of the arpeggiator. I turned the ARP on. Let's hear what the part I recorded sounds like with the ARP. You can do 332, 1/8. You can do 3/16. Kind of crazy. Then you can adjust this start shift. You can adjust the swing. You can adjust the gate. A couple of effects down here. Freeze, repeat, ratchet. Automation, that could be pretty cool, right? I definitely like the ARP. However, part of me wants to record that again. Adjustment here, you can go up, down, then down, then up, double, up, triple, up, quadruple, down, double, down, triple, down, quadruple, up, down 1, up, down 2, accent 3 to up. What does this sound like? Like that a lot. I like that a lot. What's accent 10 to 1 down? What does this sound like? I like that. Up double. Let's see what up double sounds like. So in order to use some of this, we're going to copy this sequence right here onto the next sequence, boom, and then we're going to write over this part. But do I have the Moog ARP that I want? Let's try up then down. let's try recording that. All right, so if we're gonna do that, I wouldn't mind recording that all by itself on a new sequence here. We're at 102 BPM. Let's lay that. Drum track out. I keep doing that. I want to do something else. 80s kit? This ain't 80s. This is like some... Let's load up the old Marco Polo. Shout out Marco Polo in the chat. That's it. See if we can get a groove real quick. Definitely need a sequence without that. We can come in here, we can go to track mute. And we can mute that plug-in on that sequence. So when we come back over here, we got it. Let's do one more of those. Let's bring that bass part back in. Or goosebumps. correction was on. Here we go. Do it again. No time correction. And try it again. I like this. I like that. Almost. Less is more. Let's lay this. 1, 2, 3, and. Almost. We're gonna do it one more time. 1. Less is more. 1. Just missed the first note. Hey, hey, yo, yo. It was all a dream. I used to read Synthesizer magazines, all up in my fucking limousine, like a zine. Baby girl sipping on a lean. The hop is nice. Ooh. Yeah, it was all a dream. I used to read that, but the thing I used to heed that. Baby girl, you don't be that. Baby girl, can you lead that? Please believe that. Please believe this. I could do it, baby girl. I could see it. That Memorymoog got to go right there. Yeah. Yeah. And that is the Vintage Memorymoog. All right, let's go ahead and save, because we don't want to lose anything that we've done today. Project as, we're saving this, and then we're going to have a look at, what is today? Today's 12th, 4, 12, 26.
Vintage Memorymoog.
I'll just say. Let's have a look at the next one, shall we? What's next? Vintage Pro? Where else can we go from here? Let's find out.
Vintage Pro.